burping. It's cold out. But I have hot coffee and a robe with a hood. My Jedi robe, as some people call it. All right. Let's do this thing. Here we go. And 3, 2, 1. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Today is Thursday, January 21st, 2021. That's 1/21/2021. It's fun to say. My name is Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. Well, yesterday was a pretty productive day. Pretty good day. Guess what? Finished the novel. The novel is off. I've given it to 2 people to read, give me notes, find edits that I may have missed. And now I have to work on the cover and the description, all the other things we're going to use to sell it. And I may make a pre-release version or a pre-order. I may set up a pre-order. There we go. That's what I was looking for. I'll probably work on that today. And you know the next project? The next thing I'm going to work on, because I had a call with one of my advisors yesterday after work and said, I've enjoyed having that creative start to the day. I think it's really set the tone for my day. Gets me off the couch, gets me moving from this to doing something productive for a little while. And the next thing I'm going to work on, video games. I'm going to work on a video game. There are toolkits out there that let you build video games without knowing code, fairly simply. And that's what we're looking for. That's what I want to do. So I'm going to see if we can put together a Master Hopkick video game. So that's what I'm working on when I'm done with the show today. One of the other questions that's come up around the book is will I write another one? Well, the whole point of this is that it's the first book in a series. And whether or not I write more depends on how it's received. If people really like it and it sells, I'll write more. Because at this point, I really need to make sure I'm spending my time on things that... Good morning, Stacy. I need to make sure I'm spending my time on things that are successful, that lead to money. There's a lot going on at Whistlekick, and most of it doesn't lead to money. So we got to make sure that some of these things that I do lead to money. What else? What happened yesterday? What else did I do? Call with a client. I got my teeth cleaned. They're very shiny. It was a surreal experience. The dental hygienist was literally wearing a hazmat suit with a air pump respirator sort of thing. Gloves, some funny new suction thing in the side of my face. The waiting room had bubbles. Like you would zip into it and stay there. It was intense. Signs all over the place. Do this, don't touch that. And it took twice as long for me to have my teeth cleaned because of it. So from a business side, I feel bad for them. And then what else did I do? Came home. Did a bunch more work. I was done about 5:30, 5:45. Cooked up a bunch of rice. Portioned it out. Had some dinner. Finished watching Outside the Wire on Netflix. It could have been good, but it wasn't. It was okay. It borrowed far too much from Training Day, which is a great movie. But it was like somebody watched Training Day and they're like, let's make another version of this, but let's make a bunch of these things ridiculous and not have Denzel in it. Yeah. Started watching Designated Survivor again. There was a character death that hit me hard. I needed some time off. You ever do that? You ever watch a TV series and get attached to some of the characters and then they die and you're sad? I think that's a mark of a good show. Gotta get people to care about their characters. That's something I tried to do in my novel. I'm hoping people care about the characters. We'll find out. So what about today? More of the same. I've got a couple calls this morning. I got an 8 o'clock call and a 9 o'clock call, and I think that's it. I think that is it, not only for calls, but for appointments. I think the rest of the day is just stacked with to-dos. So we're going to do them. Yeah. Coffee came out good. I feel like there was more to say. I'm not coming up with anything. Huh. What is it? It's cold. It's like 4 degrees, 5 degrees. The fire burned out overnight. I didn't really light it yet. I'll probably do that later this morning. Kat had acupuncture yesterday. She did fine with that. Yeah, I'm not coming up with much to say. It's strange. Well, this is why we have this stuff. This is why you all write things in for me, because without something to say, this is a very boring show. So let's see what you wrote in. I saw stuff from Frank, because he takes care of me like that. And I see some from Stacy. All right. Stacy, you're on a roll. I appreciate both of you. Failure at some point in your life is inevitable, but giving up is unforgivable. Ooh. Now President Joe Biden. I'm going to take a small issue with giving up being unforgivable. There are times when giving up is important. There are times when our efforts are not leading us in the right direction. When we find that something we were working on isn't the best use of our time. There's a book out there, I may have mentioned it before, it's by Seth Godin, called The Dip. And the premise of this book, it's a fairly short book, the whole idea is, hey, before you start a thing, figure out your determination of success. Come up with a standard for which you will keep going. You know, if you're going to sell a product, by what date do you want to be selling a certain number of them? Now, there's some motivation in that, as you're setting a goal, but it's also a determinant that keeps you from throwing more time and more money after things. And in a sense, that's kind of, I've kind of reverse engineered some of what we're doing with that into our strategy. We have not bought more sparring gear in a year, because it wasn't leading us, the amount of profit versus the time and the investment of capital didn't make sense. Does it make sense? Yes, but just not at the stage we're at now. It will make sense again. We will get back there, but that's why we're working on other products. That's why we're going a whole hog on content. Okay, gonna make a book that will sell. We're gonna make a video game that we're gonna sell. There are a number of things that we're gonna make that are kind of creative, content-y sort of things that we will sell. And Stacy adds, it doesn't make sense until we can actually spar again. Exactly. That's an important part. And that's why there are currently a dozen boxes between our warehouse and Amazon on the way back to me here in Vermont. Stuff that wasn't selling. So, yeah. Yeah. So all that's to say, don't give up unless it's appropriate. I think that's the best way to sum it up. It's usually not appropriate, but there are times. And Frank, today is National Hugging Day. I miss hugs. I miss giving people hugs. I miss not just because there are people that I am close to that, you know, we will still hug. Not very many. But I miss hugging other people. I miss just hugging my friends. Just saying, hey, it's great to see you. Giving them a hug. Physical contact, touch is important. There was I've read about this study that was done. And I think it was, Stacey says it's also Squirrel Appreciation Day. That I did not know. I don't think the squirrels around my house appreciate me. Not if they're in my attic. There was a study I've read about in, I believe it was Soviet era Russia. And it was a study done on infants. And they took two groups of young children, babies, fed them the same, everything was the same, except that one group was touched and held and cuddled and the other was not at all. And if I'm remembering the results accurately, the ones that were not touched had a lot of problems. Touch is important for us. It is critical to our humanity. So I hope we get past all this soon so we can touch each other again. Which I know that's a really weird way to phrase that sentence, but I think it's the right way. I have learned that there is more power in a good, strong hug than 1,000 meaningful words. Ann Hood. Hugs are significant. Think about when we hug people. When we're happy, when we're sad, when we're afraid. Hugs are... Stacey sending me virtual hugs. Well, thank you, and back to you. Hugs are kind of like the aloha of physical gestures. You know, the word aloha in Hawaiian means hello and goodbye and a number of other things. A hug can mean a lot of things. And a good hug. Good hug's an interesting thing to judge because hugs can be too weak or too strong. Arms can be in the wrong configuration. You know, if I hug somebody taller, my arms need to go underneath. But they're so meaningful. They're so powerful. You know who gives great hugs? Toddlers. Assuming that the kid is comfortable hugging you, that they are initiating it. Those are some of the best hugs. Because they just grab right on. Kids are so honest with their energy. They don't hold back the love that they give. You know, just kids and dogs. That's probably why so many of us love kids and dogs. I love a good hug. With age, you get to a place where you don't want to knock people out. You just want to give people a hug. Vin Diesel. Wow. There's a great quote coming from someone I never would have expected. Vin Diesel. I think a lot of people who I don't want to say it. I bet a lot of the people that others want to punch in the face, I bet that person, those people need hugs and needed more hugs when they were young. I probably could have used more hugs as a kid. Hugs are probably the easiest way to show that somebody is loved, in whatever way that word applies. A real hug, it takes time, and you can't hide how you feel from the other person. You ever have somebody give you a hug and it's awkward? You know, they didn't really want to, or yeah, you can pick up on that. But we don't want to punch you in the face. Hugs are authentic. That's the best way to put it. I think we're going to end up with a short episode today, and that's okay. More time to work on this video game. Or maybe just drink more coffee. I don't know. We'll find out. 2 cups a day. I limit myself to 2 cups a day. I'm afraid of what would happen if I had more than 2. You know what I miss? Brunch. Somebody bringing you coffee. I just had this kind of vision of people bringing me coffee. When did people bring me coffee? When I went to breakfast or brunch. And they bring over eggs and muffins and pancakes. I miss going out to those things. Maybe soon. It's not that I can't cook, it's that there's something nice about sitting down and having somebody make the food while you chat with somebody else. You probably hugged when you saw them. A hug a day keeps the demons at bay. It's a German proverb. I don't know, I don't remember nearly enough German to translate that, but I bet it's something that sounds very aggressive. That's one of the fun things about German. There's a meme that rolls around on Facebook from time to time. How does it go? Tell people you love them, but tell them in German, because life is also scary, something like that. And I love you in German translates to Ich liebe dich. And it's aggressive. Ich liebe dich. Oh, and yell it at them? Yeah, yell it at them in German? Something like that. You can probably find it. Can we call memes famous? What are you doing, cat? But what about the reality of that? A hug a day keeps the demons away. Well, I mentioned that Russian experiment. How do you feel when you don't have enough physical contact with people you care about? Not as good. If the demons they're talking about are psychological conditions or depression, things like that, yeah, hugs matter. The veterinary acupuncturist was here yesterday, and she's someone that prior to COVID, I hugged her when I saw her. And we had while the needles were sitting in the cat, we were having a pretty involved conversation. It was intense. And a hug would have been really nice after. It wasn't intense like in a combative way, but just we were talking about some heavy stuff. Stacy says Bernie Mitten memes are famous. Holy cow, did that blow up fast. Bernie. Bernie's mittens. Those are some great memes. I saw a number of them this morning without even trying. And then, to follow up to probably our most famous resident, on this day in 1738, Ethan Allen was born. I know a little bit about Ethan Allen. I suspect if I went to school in Vermont as a kid, I would know far more. In Maine, we had Maine history. I'm told that Vermont has Vermont history at some point in elementary school. When did we do Maine history? 3rd grade. And it was dates and people, and I've forgotten most of it, but there is the roots of a song wedged in the back of my head, and it's the 16 counties in Maine sung to the tune of Yankee Doodle. That was our mnemonic for remembering it. No, I am not going to sing it for you. But it's running through my head now, and I wish it wasn't. How old? 7th grade? 3rd grade? 8? Well over 30 years that's been in there. Ugh. Careful. Careful when you give kids songs. Might ruin their lives. Oh, that's right, Stacy. It is your birthday. Happy birthday, Stacy. I hope everyone will wish Stacy a happy birthday. I knew it was your birthday. And I want to point out that I promised Stacy that she would get to read the book by her birthday. And I sent it to her yesterday. I gave myself that deadline because it was important. I appreciate all you do and all you are, my friend. Ethan Allen is a furniture company and a Revolutionary War hero, and we named a boat after him. I don't know. I think one of the forts. Yeah, Fort Ethan Allen. Which one's that? I don't know. But he's possibly our most famous historical figure in Vermont. I don't know. Can't be sure of that one. But maybe Frank will help us out with some of that stuff. Well, didn't turn out to be that short of an episode. 23 minutes we are. All right, so here's what's going to happen. I'm going to drink more coffee. I'm going to go see about making a video game. I hope you are going to have a great day, and I hope that you will leave me something to talk about, respond to for tomorrow. Tomorrow being Friday. Woo! Oh, it's Thursday. What episode's out? Ha! Burying the lead on this one, Jeremy. What do we got? Come on, here we go. We got this. My videos. The differences between coaches, instructors, and teachers. Andrew and I recorded that one a couple weeks ago. Check it out. Of course, we're talking about it in a martial arts context, but we unpack it, and I'm interested to see what other people think. The titles that we use for martial arts instructors in general, it's quite varied. You know, we've got English titles, and then we've got foreign language titles, depending on the art. Check it out. See what you think. All right. All right, so now I'm going to go. Don't forget, if you're watching, hit that thumbs up button for me, please. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications. We do this show every weekday, 6:30 a.m. Eastern here on YouTube. Of course, we also release 2 episodes of Martial Arts Radio a week, Mondays and Thursdays. And these Thursday shows are starting to come in video form, so you can check that out. You can see my face. You can see my facial expressions. You can see Andrew and I talking. It's a little more dynamic than not watching us talk. It's not the most exciting thing, I won't lie, but if you enjoy being part of a conversation, you might find that more enjoyable. If you want to help us out, we've got a Patreon, patreon.com/whistlekick, and we've got the store at whistlekick.com, and you can use the code FIRSTCUT15 to save 15% off something like this mug. Thanks for watching, everybody. Happy birthday again, Stacy. And I will see you all tomorrow. Take care. Peace.